Hey folks, we are here with Liz Krenyuk, and today we're going to talk about how custom jewelry design actually works. So what happens from the point that you get an idea and you call Premier Gems, and how do you get from concept to completion? So Liz is here to explain it all to us. Liz, so great to have you here.
Great to be here. This is a pretty important topic that we should most likely cover while we're here. Which is how do we get from paper to metal? So, we'll talk first about the time frame. So, from the time that you meet with me to the approval to the ring is in the box and you're giving it to her, that takes about 4 weeks, folks. So, please don't show up 2 days before the event and say, please make this happen. However, I do have a lot of ready now stuff that we can use for that. So, let's talk about our 8 steps from paper to metal. First thing that you're going to do is either contact Jeff, contact myself. We're going to set up an appointment and you're going to do your very best to get to our location and meet up with Jeff and I. When you do so, in that initial meeting, the best thing to help me, bring some stones if you have stones. Bring some old jewelry if you have some old jewelry that you want to use. If you have certain concepts that you like, load them up on your phone. It really helps me out just so that we know all together what direction we're taking, because I have no problem with you giving me stones and say make something, but let's make sure that I know what your personal style is or what the person you're making this piece for, their style is, and we can even take bits and pieces from each part of what you like and what you don't like and make something amazing out of it.
So basically just as much reference material as possible.
I have 2 to 3 pictures. It's really all I need, at a minimum. Sometimes people even come in and say, look, this is what I want, make it happen. I have no problem with that as well.
Perfect. So then what?
So after we've all met, we have our final idea out. Sometimes we need to source some stones for you. And what's great is we are AGTA members, so American Gem Trade Association. What that means is we can source from all over the world and pick out the very best stone for you. But we don't just bring you one, because why would I just be like, yeah, here it is, take it? Nobody would do that to you. Or at least I hope nobody would do that to you, because this is custom. This is a process. So we bring in at least two to 4 or 6 different stones that meet your criteria and meet somewhere within your budget, and we're going to sit down together and make sure that we pick out the stone that's perfect for what you're looking for, your criteria, your color, the shape, the size, and if it fits in your budget. So I'm not just going to put a bunch of stones in front of you and say pick one. We're going to say this is why this is this much. This is why that is that much. So that's part of the process too, is picking out that perfect stone for you.
So it sounds like there's a little bit of education that goes into the buying process as well. Like it's not just blind, you guys are actually sharing.
Yeah, we're leading you through the entire step, every step of the way. You're not left guessing. You're going to be educated in every decision you make. So, and hopefully very sure of the decision you're making. So that helps a lot. Helps me too. I want to know what you want. I want to know what you're looking for. Tell me you like something. Tell me you hate something. I want to make sure that that's part of the process to make it a perfect piece for you. Don't feel bad about that.
Perfect. So I've looked at all the stones, I'm making a educated and informed decision as to the ones that I want, and then what?
After that, I get to run to this wonderful machine that I'm talking to, this great computer. I love this laptop, and it runs Matrix and Rhino, and it's a 3D CAD program, and what that does, blah blah technical stuff, I am going to make a model of your ring. So I now know exactly the dimensions of the stone that I'm working with. I know her finger size, I know your style, I have a whole ton of ideas, and I'm going to make models out of those ideas. And so what's really cool about this is this is a CAD model. So I am making a 3D rendering, which I mean, you people will see that I post renderings all the time. You can see them on our Facebook page. You can see them on my Facebook page if you're lucky enough to have access. Um, and renderings, they're easy to find. One thing to keep in mind, and I try to make them look as realistic as possible. However, it's going from a model to a rendering. This poor little machine, it's processing a lot of math. And through that, sometimes the parts that are holding the stone, which are called prongs, so these guys right up at the top, those are going to look thicker, they're going to look chunkier, and they're not going to in real life. This is a concept piece. This is just showing you the idea that looks a lot better than sketching. And I mean, I can sit and draw a rendering for you, but my drawing teacher hated my drawings, and they take forever to get it perfect. This doesn't take as long. So we go from this rendering, I email you a bunch, show your friends, show your family, show her friends, and that way you can come back to me saying, I like it, I hate it, please change this, keep this the same, give me some feedback, don't be scared, just let me know, and then I can make those changes just as easily and send you a new rendering. And then after we've gone back and forth with that, you say, I love it, let's do it, and we move on to the next step. What's really awesome about Rhino and doing this CAD rendering is I send this off to a friend in town who has, and it's a business in town, who has a 3D printer. And so it's very, very cool. So now my lovely laptop is telling a robot to make your wax.
Wow.
Yes. Very, very cool. So after we've approved everything, this is what a 3D printed wax looks like. It is a wax polymer mix so that we can cast with that exact piece.
Fantastic. So it's exactly what the ring's going to be like in terms of size and prongs and all that?
Yeah, the prongs are going to be long. They are going to look too long. Like, hands down, you're going to say, why are they so long? And I am going to tell you, when we put the stone in, we need this much length to have enough leverage to pull it over the stone.
Well, that makes sense.
Their prongs are going to look long. This part might look a little bit thicker than it should. We just need enough material to polish and sand and make it perfect. So, gotta understand, this is our workable piece. So,
great.
After you're like, yes, and this is such an important part of the process too. We can go through the stones, we can go through the meaning, we can go through renderings, but you might not still have an idea of what it's going to look like until you have this piece. So this is so important. Please come to your wax meeting, sit down with me, and they're very brittle. I'm saying, please don't try it on. If I have a hand-carved wax, like we do it old school, we can try it on. It's stronger. So, but this one, if I try to put this on any further, it's gonna break. And then I gotta print a new one. And it does happen, so don't panic if it does, but we'd like to avoid it. So, and what's great too, with its new technology, you can get so much detail out of these. So, which is great, because I love doing filigree. By the way, filigree queen right here, I can do it. Anyway, we've approved your wax. This guy is going off to casting. And it's not going very far. We're not sending across the country to get or across the globe to get our work done. It's done in Calgary, folks, so this is all done locally. After that, it's 2 more weeks. 1 week for casting, 1 week for setting. And the next time you hear from me, you have a ring.
Wow. That is really, really cool. So it sounds like you do a lot of work up front to make sure that people are happy with the end result, as happy as they can possibly be based on making those decisions. And the 3D modeling is just fantastic.
So it's so much fun. I love doing this work, and I mean, it's having this process and getting to the end of it. I mean, for me, making the model and having the wax come in, I mean, this never gets old for me. I love this. So every time something's made from something that I have thought of, I mean, it's what's fascinated me from day one. Of having something I thought of in my brain, and suddenly I can hold it. It's great.
And that's the beauty of custom design, folks. Well, Liz, thank you so much for your time and your experience and explaining all those steps to us. So, if anybody watching this wants to contact you and get the process started, what's the best way to do that?
So absolutely. So contact us on Twitter at Premier Gems YYC, Facebook Premier Gems. Feel free to email me, liz@premiergems.ca, or book online for an appointment and just come in and meet us. So absolutely. I'd love to go through this with you.
Thanks so much, Liz. Have a great day.
All right. Take care.